Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Dugout in what was seeming like a very quiet time where the transition between T20 and ODIs. It was a easy news day, and suddenly we have the news of Varun Chakaravarthy being added to the Indian ODI squad. But there's more news within this particular news, which also involves someone like Jasprit Bumrah. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about with me, Harshita Ahuja, and Siddharth Gulab. Where is Mr. Vishwanathan? 2 days in a row he has not come. The dugout.
He's a busy man. He likes traveling. So yeah, just like a few months ago, rather a few weeks ago, he wanted to go to Bhopal. He went there. This time around, he went a step further, went all the way to Bangalore. So it's just been commuting a bit.
So that you went yesterday, na, to meet Smriti Mandhana. What about today?
Today he met CEO, RCB CEO.
No, he's back in Delhi, I've heard. Then why is he not here? Doesn't need an off day after such a nice holiday trip that he had
To?
to Bangalore.
Ah.
It's like Siddharth Vishwanathan rested all eyes on Harshita and Gulati.
He gave me a call yesterday when he was on his way back.
What did he say?
So I was like, do you not feel the need of there being another airport in the city, because the one that you're on your way to isn't? And then the rant had to begin. I wasn't even allowed to complete the sentence, and as you would expect from Siddharth, the rant had begun. But he had a good time catching up with some of his friends. He said
Yes, he did.
he managed to catch up with
Ex-colleagues.
ex-colleagues,
Yeah.
some people that he does know at the franchise.
He used to work in Bengaluru a few years back. I think it's about a decade back now. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's up with
So
him.
then he should have been here, na, and to tell us about all his stories rather than...
He's
Tomorrow.
going to be here tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I know what to ask him though, and it won't be about food because I've given up on him and food, but I will ask him about this thing that's an absolute rage on social media, which is Nikhil Kama doing his podcast, and one of this multi-millionaire guy
walked out.
who walked out because he had a skin rash and whatnot, the PM 2.5 level. Let's not even quote that number because in Delhi we live through quadruple the number or triple the number. But I want to know from Siddharth, because he curses Delhi food, Delhi air so much. I want to know from him what it was like to be there.
I did ask him that did you enjoy the dosa or bene dosa? That's famous in Bengaluru. He's like, oh man. Then the rant started. So I wasn't even allowed to complete
That's what I'm saying.
anything.
Such a gala time he had, and he's taking an off after that. From a holiday, can't be taking an off. No, you should have come to the office. Anyway, Varun Chakaravarthy has been added to the Indian squad.
But you've been traveling too before we speak about Varun
Yeah, I'm
Chakaravarthy.
in Delhi only.
No, but
In
you
this,
had
this AQI only.
had a little visit today, right?
Yeah, I went to the book fair for a launch of a couple of sports books. No, actually, one was a sports book, the other was not. And the book fair was amazing, yeah. A lot of footfall, so many people. I love the way the stalls were decorated. I also enjoyed the fact that there's so many people there at the book fair buying books. Because I've been told quite often by publishers that, you know, the breed of people who read books is slowly on the deterioration, and nobody's reading. But and I saw people of all age groups, young kids, college-going kids, school kids, grown-ups, elderly, everyone.
Two questions.
lovely.
Did you meet Rajdeep there?
No, he wasn't there. No.
Okay. Was
Could have been. It's a massive thing.
Massive thing, yeah.
So I don't know.
No, but is it really the case that number of people reading books are like less?
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
It's dwindling.
I see that.
It is dwindling.
A lot of people prefer Kindle now.
No. But I'm even talking about books sold via the digital form.
Yeah.
It's coming down is what I hear. Also, now you see kids, they're hardly reading. They're on phones and screens. The habit of reading
the
is
other question?
not there.
Did you find your book there?
I did. I took a picture also. I can't tell you what a kick you have, even though my book is now 5 years old. So more than that, 6 years now. So, and usually what happens is the first year when they have a lot of promotion for every book, usually, unless you are like one of the top, you're a Chetan Bhagat or that sort of an author where your books keep selling throughout. For non-fiction books especially, it's usually the first 12 months where there's a lot of promotion and scene. So you'll see your books in airports and bookstores and all of that, and slowly they tend to disappear because newer books replace, because even the publisher starts putting the newer stock that he gets, and then the older books you'll only get online mostly. But book fair is that one thing where they showcase not all of their titles but majority of their titles. So I went to the publisher's stall. I thought, let me just go and look around, and then I'm going around sports section. I saw the book.
Yeah. I in fact, while I was on
also.
my way to Ahmedabad the other day, there's something at the airport that happened that I forgot to tell you guys about. So, bookstores and all is good, but so what happened, and it happened right alongside a bookstore, and it's happened the third time in this sort of a month's time, and this time I experienced it myself. So the former organization that I used to work with, I'd once done the story on Delhi AQN and how one of these startups was doing something about it in Select City Walk. There's the story that I had done. That organization shut shop, as you know, but that story still runs on the Delhi airport. It's been 5 years now. That's surprise. I have gotten screenshots and snaps early in the morning from people who are flying via the T3 that, what are you doing over here? And from a couple of former colleagues, but this time I saw it myself.
Wow.
So,
what an evergreen story.
Or the evergreen pollution maybe that makes it relevant.
So every year same thing,
can never be
rinse,
evergreen.
repeat, rinse. It's quite an irony that evergreen
and
and pollution don't go together. Okay, let's get down to business. Varun Chakravarthy is in. What does that tell you?
One thing that tells me is that India have 5 spinners in their
Exactly.
squad now. AXAR Patel, Ravindra Jadeja, Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav and Varun Chakravarthy. 5 spinners.
I was thinking about it. The same thought actually crossed my mind. 5 spinners you've got. Definitely at the best of times you're not playing more than 3 spinners. Best of times.
Absolutely.
So you got 2 backup. Do you need that? You do not, and you're playing a home series. But then I thought, what could be the reason why they've gone with another spinner? And I can't think of a better reason than this. And that is primarily that they want to try Varun Chakravarthy in a couple of games, or at least a game before the Champions Trophy, because we know that till 11th of Feb you can make as many changes as you want. Maybe just have a look in, because we've discussed Varun Chakravarthy's merit or demerits, and he's done well in the T20 format. He did well in Vijay Hazare as well, which is a 50 over format, but you still haven't done it at the international level. So clearly there is a thought process. I mean, that I'm convinced, and correct me if you think I'm wrong or any of you disagree, but I think I'm convinced that this couldn't have happened without the captain and the coach wanting it. So clearly this is not like a selector's call. It to me seems like, and there's nothing wrong, and that's how you should be, because we've called out a captain or a coach previously that one player is doing well. Just because you've selected a squad does not mean, and if there is time you can make changes, does not mean you don't take a man in form. It's a good thing to do. So I have a feeling that there would have been some sort of a demand from either the coach or the captain that could be the coach as well, because he was part of the T20 setup, could be the captain too, who's seen how well spinners have done, and he says that, listen, we picked a squad and I picked the best spinners that were available, but this guy is looking good. He was looking good previously as well, looking good now. Maybe I want to see him for a game or two. If I like him, who knows, I'll take him. So this demand definitely has come from them, and so what that tells me is, and I'm convinced that you will get to see, even though India won't play more than 3 spinners, you'll definitely get to see Varun Chakravarthy play a game, but otherwise you're not really got him as a backup. It's not the most important series. You're not playing a World Cup, we need a backup, this might happen, there's nothing like that. So you've primarily gotten him to maybe catch a glimpse of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with this. I think it's maybe Rohit Sharma, Gautam Gambhir, or it's their joint decision that they want him as a part of the squad for the England ODIs. I think what it basically puts a question mark on the place of Washington Sundar in this squad. Because in case of AXAR Patel, Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja, I think they select themselves. Their position in this squad for the Champions Trophy isn't really in danger. But it does put a lot of pressure on Washington Sundar, because first of all, when you finalize this squad, Washington Sundar was never going to make the starting 11 for either the England ODIs or Champions Trophy. He was always going to be more than a handy backup for you in all the ODIs that you play from now until the first week of March. So I think what it does is that you would rather want to use Varun Chakravarty's mystery than Washington Sundar's all-round ability that may or may not be on show in either the England ODIs or Champions Trophy. So I think you're probably focused on that. Secondly, Varun Chakravarthy in T20Is and Varun Chakravarthy's in ODIs, obviously, it's going to be two different bowlers. Many Bangladesh, New Zealand and Pakistan batters haven't really faced him in either of the IPL matches or any of the matches that Varun Chakravarthy might have played against any of these oppositions. So I think it does bring in that surprise.
Pakistan faced him, no?
But that
T20
was
World
just,
Cup.
yeah, that was just one
I'm
game,
just saying.
obviously, yeah.
And obviously he was a very different Varun Chakravarty
Yeah.
then. This 2.0 is
Hardly
very
any,
different.
I think hardly any Bangladesh batter might have faced him. I can only remember maybe Liton Das and Shakib Al Hasan, both of whom were part of Kolkata Knight Riders when I think in 2021 or 2022. Even in case of New Zealand also, maybe a few batters who have played in the IPL. I think it does bring in that surprise element, and maybe that's what Rohit Sharma wants to use.
It's difficult. It's difficult to say that the coach wasn't involved over here, because right or wrong, I don't know, but in the past he's been accused of bringing in players that he's worked with in the past. Varun Chakravarty is again another player that he's worked with in the past. That's not to say Varun Chakravarty has been brought in because of that previous relationship. For good reasons, he's been brought in for his recent performances and whatever good work that he done with Gautam Gambhir at KKR. I'm just saying it's difficult to think that Gambhir wasn't on board with the idea. Perhaps Rohit Sharma has been left equally impressed. He's going to be captaining this side. At this, for me, the fact that he's yet to play ODI cricket for India, it tells me that you're wanting to try out. With Kuldeep, what exactly is it Kuldeep will offer. However, I think if he plays 2 games and Kuldeep is the one to sit out and he gets just 1 game, then maybe the Indian team could be getting swayed, because remember, Kuldeep also needs equal amount of game time. If you're looking at giving Varun Chakravarty some sort of game time and just want to try him out, Kuldeep needs game time too, because he's had a long injury layoff. Now, are you telling me that somebody who's been out for so long plays just 1 match and then straight away you take him to Dubai? It could be, I may be tempted to read between the lines. If Kuldeep is sitting out in 2 and Varun Chakravarty plays 2 instead and he has decent performances, maybe there's a big shuffle that happens over there as well, even though I will not like it.
So you're expecting, Varun Chakravarty to be picked ahead of Kuldeep Yadav for the Champions Trophy. That's an assumption that you're putting.
Because my only thing is, I don't see how you can make this squad with 2 specialists, because see, only one makes it to your 11. I don't understand why you will need a second also in your 15.
So on one point, I don't know whether he gets ahead of Kuldeep, and it shouldn't happen, because again we are mixing format. Yeah, the only thing I agree with Harshad is that because Kuldeep's also coming from an injury, and the fact that you were not really convinced, and see again, a lot of things happen behind the scene in terms of fitness, because there's no transparency, so you don't know. We'll talk about Bumrah as well, because he's in the same boat. So possible that it's happened that Varun Chakravarty comes in not just on the insistence of the coach/captain, but because of a necessity. You're not 100% sure about how fit Kuldeep is. That is a possibility. But what I also agree with him is that there is no way, because you made a point about Washington Sundar and him, but I don't think both of them are competing, because Washington Sundar, for 2 reasons. One, gets into the all-rounder slot, and there is no way that you can have a Varun Chakravarty and a Kuldeep Yadav play together. I find that almost next to impossible. You're going to be taking 2 fast bowlers at least minimum. So the kind of batting lineup that India has had so far, you are not going to have batting over till 7. That's for sure. They're definitely going to go for a batter at 8. Now, if that is your plan, how do you fit in a Kuldeep and a Varun Chakravarty and 2 fast bowlers? It won't happen. So the contest is either Kuldeep or Varun Chakravarty in the 11. That's the first thing. So there may not be any worry there. Having said that, they could still, now in the 15, they could be tempted to keep both Kuldeep and Varun Chakravarty. Yeah. And there you have to sacrifice another spinner, because you are then going with 3 spinning all-rounders. So on that front, they, like you point out, that the person who could really go out is a Washington Sundar. However, if you ask me, I don't think it's actually Washington Sundar who should go out, for 2 reasons. One, Washington Sundar, the batter in T20 cricket, did not get the chance to bat the way he can or what his strength is. Washington Sundar, the batter in ODI cricket, even if he's batting lower down the order, can be useful. That's one. Two, in terms of him being an off spinner, and I know this for a fact that Rohit Sharma is a big fan of having an off spinner in the team. You've seen it in the past as well. Even though if you remember 2021 T20 World Cup where Varun Chakaravarthy was there, Rohit was not captain, but we got to know later it was Rohit who actually advocated of having an off spinner in the team. So, you know, the fact that Ravichandran Ashwin was being considered was because Rohit Sharma wanted an off spinner. We've seen it with Rohit Sharma, the IPL captain as well. He likes to keep an off spinner. Off spinners are dying breed in T20 cricket, but quite often Jayant Yadav will play against team that have got left-handers, especially the Delhi team. So he likes an off spinner because it's a different facet of the sport, and against left-handers like Bangladesh you mentioned have a lot of left-handers. So I think if there is going to be a casualty for two counts, one, you think Kuldeep, you know, there's fitness doubt, and if you think he's really not fit enough, if fitness, and you can't risk taking him, then maybe Varun comes in clear. But if there is no fitness issue and you yet are going to take, see, one more thing, I don't think Varun coming into the England squad now is a guarantee he comes into Champions Trophy. As I said, there is a possibility they might see him in a game or two and then take a call. So if he is to come with a Kuldeep Yadav in the squad, then I think ideally to keep the balance of the team, then Akshar Patel goes out. I know that you know there is going to be oohs and ahs when I say that, simply because, but what people who will be surprised with that should realize that we are all impressed with Akshar Patel, the T20I cricketer at the moment, who's done fantastically well, is a vice captain. But if he was a sure shot in your ODI team, he probably would have been your vice captain here as well. You did not need to go to a youngster like Shubman Gill to have a vice captain, especially when you have a Yashasvi Jaiswal who could be pushing him. But the reason you've done that is because it is a possibility. Let's say I remove Varun Chakravarthy from the equation. There's a possibility that you could still make your 11 without an Akshar Patel. With Kuldeep, you'll get a different kind of spinner. With Washington, a different kind of spinner, and a Jadeja with a different kind of spinner. So there is still a possibility he goes out. Even his batting prowess. See, again, I'll tell you one more thing. In terms of wicket-taking abilities between Jadeja and Akshar, in ODIs, Jadeja is ahead. Now comes your batting. And I agree that Akshar has been outstanding in T20. But his returns in ODI cricket are no better than what Ravindra Jadeja has achieved. Probably even Ravindra Jadeja has achieved slightly more. So he's ahead in the pecking order. If I've got a left arm spinning all-rounder in Jadeja, do I really need an Akshar Patel? So that's where I think could a casualty be.
Okay, so my point is that if, let's say, you know, Varun Chakravarthy does replace Akshar Patel for the Champions Trophy, so who do you have as your number 8 in CT? Washington
Sundar.
Okay. I think
or you do vice versa, but I think Jadeja will bat higher.
Okay, so this is where I think I disagree, because I would rather have an Akshar Patel at number 8 than a Washington Sundar, primarily because of Akshar Patel's better six-hitting ability. His
no,
ODI
but that's
numbers,
in T20, Siddharth. That's what I'm saying.
What
in
ODI
cricket,
over here is if you're planning to have
I'll tell you
Washington
why.
at 8, aren't we doing exactly the same thing when we're analyzing his role as a batter in the T20 side, and we had a feeling that he's batting too low for this side? Again, he's not going to be coming into bat at number 8 when there's plenty of balls and he'll have the time to settle and all. I know just psychologically you get that, but 8 relatively is a very, very low batting position as well. Exactly. And he will be in situations where he will be expected to play high octane cricket because he will not have partners on the other side.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. See, I'll give you an example. Why is it that you are not obsessed with, let's say, Rinku Singh in ODI, but you would want him in a T20 game? It's a completely different format, and the way you're playing T20. See, that's what I'm saying. Now let the series start. You will realize that the flourish at the end is not so much there in ODI cricket, or the focus on that. Most ODI innings are based on how you start. If you even now look at most ODI innings, big scoring ODI matches are your top order. That's why the top order has the luxury of taking time, setting it up. You go back to the 2023 World Cup also. Majority of the times where it's happened, it is the top order, or even if it's not the top order, it's your middle order, the 3, 4, 5, which has to do the job. In T20 cricket, it's a different thing. There's that stress on a 7-ball 20 or an 8-ball 28. That won't happen in ODI. And I don't think that Washington Sundar is that bad a player in terms of getting a 120, 130 strike rate, which you would need even if you're batting lower down the order in ODI cricket. But he's not the guy who will get you a 240, 250 strike rate in T20. So there's a difference. That's why I'm saying Washington Sundar's utilization as a batter in T20, a mismatch. In T20 cricket, best utilization, he bats higher up. In ODI cricket, he's fine.
Do you see with the bat
batting that he
AXAR
has.
performing a similar role at 8?
Sorry?
Do you see AXAR performing a similar
Yeah.
role with the bat at 8?
Yes.
So you're keeping Washington in the side for his ability to take the ball away from the left-hander.
Yes.
Or
I'm not saying that you cannot play both AXAR and Jadeja also. There is a possibility. I'm not saying
if
that.
you play AXAR, Jadeja, then
7 and 8, I'm saying there is a... But
it only leaves room for Kuldeep then.
correct. That's what I'm saying. So in which case, Washington doesn't play. I'm saying you can do that. And they have done that with both left-arm spinners have also played.
Yes.
But I'm saying if you're going to be bringing someone like a Varun Chakaravarthy now, the only place that I can, if now in the comparison, some games I play both Jadeja and AXAR if I want to. And some games where they're left-handers, I play Washington. But if I go to a tournament, then I need all bases covered. Then I may not be in a situation that I'm taking AXAR. So if you picked a squad here without Varun Chakaravarthy, I thought it was fine. But now you somehow have to bring a Varun Chakaravarthy. Only two ways you can bring him. One, if you have serious doubts about Kuldeep Yadav, then that's fine. But if you do not have doubts, if you want to give him a shot, he's fine, he's fit, he's a wicket-taking bowler, and I would want to take him at any tournament, then I'm taking him. But I also need Varun, I'm taking him. Now what is the one compromise that I can make? I may need a off-spinner somewhere, but a left-arm spinner I'm carrying with me, no? That 15 I can't change once I take them. I can't be in a situation there where I've taken both Jadeja and AXAR, and there for a particular game I need an off-spinner. I can't get it. So I might as well have all bases covered when I reach there. And I don't think you will miss out so much if you do not have AXAR in your ODI squad. T20, different scheme of things, where is a match winner completely.
But I think if we talk about Bangladesh, Pakistan and New Zealand, most of the batters, I think most of the established batters that they have or are probably going to have in their playing 11 for CT are, I think, going to be more are going to be right-handed batters. So in that case, it does make sense to have both Jadeja and Akshar Patel.
You could, that's what I'm saying. You could have both, but what do you do then? Then you leave Varun Chakravarthy out.
Yeah.
You leave Varun Chakravarthy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I can't
He
envision a
can't.
scenario where Kuldeep doesn't go. Simple as
Kuldeep
that.
has,
Correct.
he
Kuldeep
has
has
to
to
be a number
go.
one spinner.
And I don't, I think, if you ask me, I think Chakravarthy is not fighting a battle against Washi over here. I think because ultimately you're only going to be playing one specialist spinner, and that is exactly what Varun Chakravarthy is. So comparing him with an all-rounder in AXAR or Washi, the two names that we discussed, may not be the right thing to do as well. So ultimately it's Kuldeep versus Varun Chakravarthy.
Yeah.
True. That's what I'm saying. The most important bit is he's only included for the ODI series. Maybe it's an audition. Maybe they want to see him. In a
But
game
it's
or two
interesting, just
for Varun.
contradicting all of ourselves over here. I was listening to Ravi Ashwin, since he's so active on his own social media handles now. He said that, when teams are selected, people on the outside don't realize this, but when you are selected, you're not thinking about the ultimate 11. You're thinking about what we said, covering all options.
Exactly what we discussed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right now, while we may feel that in the pecking order, maybe Varun Chakravarthy is at the bottom because others have more game time. He's yet to make his debut. He didn't have a good outing back then when he played in the 2021 T20 World Cup. But he says when you think of it, you are thinking of having multiple options, maybe somebody, different situation, who do you turn to? You're not leaving out on a player because he will ultimately not make it to the 11. So if that is the school of thought, then you never know. And then I think becomes a situation what you were talking about, that you leave out either AXAR or Jadeja. But again,
So
I think
Ashwin knows exactly how the squads are picked based on experience from.
sitting on the bench.
No, but 15 when they are picked, was he there in the meetings?
He wouldn't have been there, but he knows.
Captains are there, coaches are there.
He's that active mind,
selectors are. You and I also have active minds, but have you been in that meeting? I'm just asking.
No, but
See, he
in
would
fact,
have been there in the squad when
didn't-
you're picking IPL teams. He was captain. no?
See, you have to give
Punjab
it to him
Kings.
that he
But
knows
Indian team?
a couple of these things, because he was in fact talking about the time he was left out and he wasn't made to play, the time that he was made to play, the time that he wasn't made to play, now in the BGT and in the 2023 WTC final as well. I think it was in that regard that he was talking
No,
about being
I
left out, that he said that
I agree, but when the squad was picked, how do you know about it was picked? I'm just asking. Like, what was the mindset?
He has sources, no?
In the know of things.
Okay, most important bit, because that is doing the rounds and it's open to interpretation, which is Varun Chakaravarthy coming in doesn't mark the exit of Jasprit Bumrah, because the squad that BCCI have announced, it has a name of Varun Chakaravarthy, it has the name of Harshit Rana, but it does not have the name of Jasprit Bumrah. Just a reminder that earlier when the team was announced, we were told, and I was there in Mumbai, we were told straight up that Bumrah will only come in for the third game. Before that, Harshit Rana is available. But because this updated squad has come for the ODI series, it says ODI series against England, doesn't say only for the first two ODIs.
Yeah.
In that case, are we to deduce from this that Bumrah not making it to the third ODI?
I think it's possible. Maybe you're not sure about his fitness. I think he had gone for scans at the NCA yesterday. And maybe the initial report suggests that it's not really looking any encouraging. So I think, yeah, it does look like, and if that's really the case, it's a big blow for India, because then any which ways, Shami is coming back. Arshdeep Singh is still very new to the ODI format. I'm not sure, whether, your pace bowling attack does inspire any kind of confidence.
If you ask me, I'm not reading too much into it. Also, because it happens at the back of a drafting issue that had happened with the BCCI just a couple of weeks back as well. So maybe there's another one. So, and I'm going to wait till the 11th hour as far as Jasprit Bumrah is concerned. Maybe those scans have already revealed a thing or two, and the BCCI doesn't want there to be smoke all over. They want the fire to be as unnoticed as possible if that report has already come out. I think you want to delay it till the 11th hour. You want to hope for miracles, which is why if you're drafting one press release, you could have sent across an email to the ICC as well that, listen, this is what we've learned and we want to make that change. But none of that has happened till now. I think
No, that is still 11th.
11th,
yeah.
So why are you
until
doing
you're
that?
waiting-
You don't need to send any
So
email to ICC. Yeah.
you were waiting. See, Bumrah could have played only either of the first two matches. The third match happens on the 12th. The deadline's on the 11th. So if you had to learn anything about Bumrah and have that match fitness in mind, he would have had to play in the first two matches. So I think you just
No,
waiting.
he was anyway not picked for the first two matches.
Yeah,
Third, he
wasn't.
wouldn't have been eligible. Again, if you were planning to have him play the third and then make the decision, you would have been late by 24
you
hours.
won't have made the... See, with Bumrah, you don't have to see him and then make a decision.
Yeah, but the
all I'm
idea
saying
was,
is
as
by
was reported,
11th...
you wanted to, before you took him to the tournament,
No,
just
not to see whether you want to pick him. No. See, I think that idea was that let's give him some game time.
Game time,
Not
yes.
to decide on him.
No, not to decide on him. Just give him some game time.
So that might
ahead of
still
him.
happen. That might still happen.
That
where-
might still happen.
Where you don't, if you're confident that, let's say, hypothetically, you have learned that, okay, he can't make it to the third ODI. But you're confident that he can be available, as I mentioned yesterday as well. I think if I'm Rohit Sharma, I definitely want him, even if he is 80-90% fit. Right? And I mean, let me put it this way, that he's not 100%, but the doctor has given a go-ahead that he can bowl. Like if it's in that situation. Only if the doctor said nothing doing next 1 month also, he just cannot bowl, that's another matter. But if he's gotten a go-ahead, if I'm Rohit Sharma, I'm taking him and I'll manage him. Where as I said yesterday, maybe don't play him the Bangladesh match, play him the Pakistan match. Then if you've won both, then I've pretty much qualified for the semis. I can skip him for the New Zealand match. Then you have only 2 matches, your semis and final. So I can manage with that, provided I get a go-ahead. So let's say 11th deadline is gone also, but I will know, they may not put a press release, but I'll be in the know of things as captain. That, what is the doctor said about him. So, and if he says he can play, I'll say, okay, I'll keep him. I take him. It's worth it.
I just wonder what the doctor at the Mumbai Indians would be saying right now. And which doctor do you listen
But
to?
Rohit Sharma is also part of Mumbai Indians.
That's what.
So
which doctor do you listen to? The one at the Mumbai Indians or the one at the NCA? Because they both may have different things to say right now. One is
Then
thinking
Bumrah
about the
will
Champions
decide.
Trophy. The other is not thinking about what happens after the Champions Trophy. But the other person is thinking only about what happens after the Champions Trophy.
No, then Bumrah will decide what is the one. That
Then that doctor is sitting in New Zealand.
So how does it matter where he's sitting?
There's multiple doctors and a Jasprit.
Phone is there, no?
Yeah.
You could even do FaceTime or Zoom call everywhere. You can decide whichever way. The only thing I find, if by the way, I don't know if 100% I'm sure that Jasprit Bumrah is not there in that scheme of thing. Assuming that the press release is right and there is no clerical error in that, and he's out, I still would not really be worried because if he is 100% out, assuming he's 100% out, then I would have wanted to draft in a Siraj also in the squad. I'll tell you why, because see, with Bumrah, you go without Siraj, it's fine. You can take a young bowler with you in a Harshit Rana because you'll have Bumrah and Shami to mentor them. But now with Shami just getting back into fitness, you're going to take a young Arshdeep who's also not that experienced at the ICC level, as well as a Harshit Rana. That's where I'm worried. I think you would have needed the experience of a Mohammad Siraj. Otherwise, you're not taking him fine with a Bumrah's experience and Shami's experience. But suddenly when Bumrah goes out, and I know Harshit has done really well in white ball cricket. He bowls really well in the death as well, as we had seen in the IPL. All of that I agree. But you need experience in these big tournaments. So often the Indian captains have said that, right? Where you've got an experienced player, they say that you need that to win a tournament. And on that front, then I think, and Siraj not been that woefully out of form. I mean, he had a decent BGT as well. So, and his numbers in ODI cricket have been very good. Just before that ODI World Cup, the Asia Cup, he was on fire, if I'm not mistaken, the highest wicket taker for
also,
India in the ODI
let's not
format,
forget that you started the ODI World Cup and you played 40% of it with a Mohammad Siraj.
Yeah.
Shami came in later into the picture.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
So
Absolutely.
as far as experience goes and how this team has believed in Mohammad Siraj, yes, he can be erratic at times. That is one thing you know about him. But this team has really backed him and has given him that experience as well. So when you're talking about that duo, and I totally agree, regardless of his form, if you're looking at having two pacers plus a Hardik Pandya in the 11, which is what I think is going to be the make of this team, I think it has to be Mohammad Shami and Siraj. Arshdeep you can turn to maybe in a game or two where you want a third seamer, or if you're looking at giving a break, that may not be the case because it's only a 5-match
There is a
tournament.
possibility, Harshit, that you can play three pacers.
I would ideally want that because
You
that's
can.
exactly what you did.
Because you'll play two spinners and three pacers.
Yes.
You'll be sorted. And a Hardik
Or
Pandya.
assuming, if pitches are slow, then you'll have to go with
So
two
let's say-
pacers.
But I have
say
a
you're
feeling
playing a
you're doing
Jadeja,
exactly
Kuldeep.
what you did in the World Cup. You play two outright seamers plus a Hardik Pandya, a specialist spinner and two all-rounders.
Yeah, even I think.
No,
So
Some-
6 bowling options you
Some
had.
stage you also played Shardul Thakur. So basically you
All-rounder.
had 4 space bowling all-rounders.
Yes, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
had two
all-rounder.
all-rounders. You had two fast bowling all-rounders in Hardik and Shardul. That's up till the time, that's till the Bangladesh game
Yeah, yeah.
that had happened. Even after that, you always had 6 bowling options with you, and I think 50 over cricket, that is what you will want to do this time as well.
Yeah. Can we get some questions, Shivam? I can see some colorful questions.
Let's see if we start with sandpaper again.
We have
Not
Kunal who says, Nikhil sir, big fan. Ishan, a 200 once gone out now. Kunal, thank you for your kind comments. And yeah, man, Ishan Kishan. In fact, if you remember, Kunal, when we were picking our 15s, I had thought of a Ishan Kishan in my 15.
No, but we both picked Sanju Samson.
Yeah, no, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that at least
He
we
was
had
at
him in
least
the
in our
in
contention.
our discussion.
Yeah,
in our discussion. And suddenly he's
Essentially, the Jurels and the Samsons have moved forward now.
Even Jitesh Sharma is ahead of him.
Even Jitesh is now
But I think, if you're Ishan Kishan, and I know you've had a big jolt after what happened and his reluctance to play domestic cricket, he's paid the price for it. But you never know, see, in the Indian cricket setup, IPL makes a huge difference. One good IPL can change your fortunes.
Yeah.
So he's there, and again, he has age on his side, so
That's right.
he can make a comeback. Sandpaper is there, just as you'd wanted it. Harshit, he says, Varun Chakaravarthy in ICC tournament, Pakistan, India and New Zealand in the same group, Virat Kohli not in form, ICC event in Dubai. I have seen this script before. I know Sandpaper. But, and by the way, it's tougher. Last time in that thing, you had New Zealand, you had Pakistan, and you had one of Namibia or one of those.
Namibia, Scotland, yeah, and Afghanistan.
So you could get a win here and there. But now you got Bangladesh also, which is can be
I would
dangerous.
say
And
look at
Bangladesh
it,
are a pretty good ODI team.
Yeah,
just try reading the script differently. Read it right to left, maybe. The last time you played the Champions Trophy and you won it happened at the back of you winning the World Cup as well. So this time also you won an ICC tournament.
And
maybe
multiple test series losses.
multiple test series losses. So it all aligns that way.
I know. Okay, AJ here. So how do you apply for a job in sports today? Well, I with the camera cannot tilt, but we have 2 interns here already in line. So, but
And exchanging
AJ,
high
what you
fives.
can do is one good way is that we have a media institute called the India Today Media Institute. You can get all the details on the website. Do check that out. Enroll yourself in a journalism course. You anyway need a journalism course to then pursue journalism. So you might as well do it here. And then we have a process where we can take in a few people from the institute and then they start working with us. So that's one way of doing it, AJ. India Today Media Institute, you'll find it on the internet rather easily. You'll get, when are the admissions, what is the process, all of that.
Or the other way is just start spamming Nikhil.
Isn't it? Am I correct? Yes.
But they can spam you as well.
No spamming. I don't see your name.
Reality check has a question. Why can't Varun Chakravarthy come for Jadeja? Varun far better spinner, and batting of Jadeja isn't that great. 15 years of mediocrity, so why can't throw him out?
I want to give reality check a reality check. Let's take a look at all the spinners that you have. So you're going with Washington Sundar, AXAR Patel, Ravi Jadeja, and Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah.
Only Kuldeep Yadav will have better bowling numbers than Jadeja in ODI cricket.
Correct.
I can be 100% sure. Jadeja is going to be ahead, miles ahead of AXAR Patel and Washington Sundar, both with the ball and the bat.
Yeah.
Both with the ball. So I can't understand where his assessment comes from. I mean, doesn't. But see, that's the thing.
But we've done a statistical comparison and we've
that's see formats, no. See, he was
We did
lagging
in the
in
ODI only,
T20
I
and he's
remember.
not playing T20 cricket anymore. Akshar's gone ahead of him. We said it long before, even when the Indian team realized saying Akshar is ahead, you have to play him.
Yeah.
But it's not the case in ODI cricket. So, and I also think his batting style is suited for ODI cricket. Even in terms
He's
of
averaging
bat.
the best actually.
Yeah.
Batting average.
That's what I'm
Since?
saying.
In the last 1.5 years or so.
Okay.
I think it's average of
Overall,
32, 33.
overall as well as last few
Yeah,
years. So there you go.
absolutely.
Okay.
Manjinder Singh, we've taken reality check. Manjinder Singh says that does it mean that Varun will be joining the Champions Trophy squad?
No Manjinder. That's exactly what we've
It
discussed.
doesn't mean, but his chances have improved.
Yeah.
He looks in
100%.
line
we
now.
can say.
He looks in line. That
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
said.
It could just be an audition as well.
Yeah.
Possible, yeah.
And no, you don't know how the audition goes. While we are all raving about Varun Chakravarthy right now, it's a different format which comes with different challenges as well. Maybe batters will not look to attack him as much as they did try and do that in the shortest format of the game. Maybe they do actually figure out a way and not be as attacking, because that's what happens in times that you end up losing your wicket. So maybe a circumspect approach from the batters helps them navigate through his 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever overs that he bowls.
Yeah. Similar question by Yug Parmar. Yug, how are you? I hope you're well. Yug is the one who caught me in Mumbai. He's a regular watcher. And he's
He
saying...
was once here as well.
Achha.
A few months back, I think you were traveling then. Yug had visited us at the India Today office, and Siddharth did the honors.
Okay, Yug is saying, who will Varun replace in the ODI 11? Yug, I think we spent enough time discussing that. I think his competition is going to be with Kuldeep. You can't play both of them in the squad. So one of them, I guess. Okay, Tarun says, Nikhil sir, 1 to 6 right-handers. GG back, left, right in the team. Would he like to do left, right in the team? Yeah, that's interesting.
No, but I don't think you can actually have any left-handed batter in your top 5. You open with Gill and Rohit.
5, no. Huh.
Virat at 3, Shreyas
5
4.
select
Unless,
themselves.
can I tell you, unless, and they've done it in the past, you push a Jadeja higher up.
I don't think so. You'll basically
See, that's also 5, 6 that you're doing. You're not suddenly taking him to number 4.
You'll disturb the batting position of both Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul. I think the point is that don't fix anything that's not broken. Both have done well at 4 and 5. Why would you want to change their batting position? They've been your best batters in the middle order. In fact, KL has been your best batter at number 5 in the last 2-3 years or so. Why change that? No point in actually changing it unless someone is really out of form, or unless you want to try something different.
And imagine then, if supposing you're going with 3 spinners, which is a possibility, and your 3 spinners are Jadeja, AXAR and Kuldeep. So then suddenly, or even Washington, where all 3 left-handers then. So you go with right hand, then left.
See,
so you can shuffle them.
Then out of these 3,
it works better in T20s where you consider, and you did use Akshar Patel as a bit of a floater in the World Cup. That's what you can do. But
World Cup final.
World Cup final is a prime example of that. But ODI cricket, I doubt if you need that floater that much.
I think might
also
just
when your
need
batters are in. See, it's not like these guys need confidence. Your top 5, 6 are thankfully doing very well. If you look at their numbers over the last 13 games that they would have played, which is the World Cup plus the 3 matches of the Sri Lanka series, I don't quite think there's a need for you to be tweaking anything now in your top 6, 7.
Okay, Priyanshu says, Nikhil sir, what's your gut feeling? Is it a last ICC event for Roko? By the way, in every format, we play so many spinners. What's the need of Mokel? Spin coach hi rakh lo. Well, a good point actually Priyanshu makes at the end. But I guess Indians are so good with spin that I think, and the spinners are doing rather well. So they're saying, why need a spin bowling coach? But good point he makes. Whether it is Roko's last tournament, I don't think so. I know that they are under scrutiny, and if they do not have a great tournament, India get knocked out, God forbid, like 2021, because you were drawing a comparison, who knows, then it could be. But if you're asking my gut feeling, I have a feeling that they should get run in white ball, because I think that's the format that they're very good at. They're 2 very different players. I think Rohit is more of a momentum player. If he gets one good knock, then that momentum will take him through. Virat, on the other hand, is a gutsy player, very gritty player. He's had a few issues against the red ball, but white ball is very different. And I think he'll get some runs. So I do not see a bad tournament coming up for either one.
No point in mixing formats. Both feel at home in ODIs.
Yeah. Selvam Kandaraja says, I feel Akshar's place is precariously placed with Varun's inclusion. Jaddu and Akshar are like to like, though Washi will not be in the starting 11. He brings in the off spinner to the table. Absolutely, Selvam. That's exactly what was my opinion as well. GGK is saying, Nikhil, if Virat doesn't score in 2 ODIs, let Gill play at 3 with Jaiswal opening. And I know GGK is a big Rohit Sharma fan. He's not a very big,
and a Sanju Samson fan.
And he's not a very big thing.
But that's not happening.
It can even work the other way, no? If let's say Rohit doesn't get run, so will you get Yashasvi and Shubman to open and Virat?
I think Yashasvi will have to wait for his chance. I think he'll probably get it.
Also, after what happened, since Gill decided to move to number 3 in another format of the game, I'm not sure if he would want to change.
Yeah.
That's what I agree.
And how do you tell the one with number 3 to bat at number 4 then?
Correct.
And it's not needed.
Then you're basically disturbing your whole combination. Shreyas 5, KL, Rahul 6.
Exactly. No need at all.
DJ Happy says Harshit Rana will be the Bumrah of Champions Trophy. That's a big call. Big call by DJ Happy. I hope it happens. It'll make all of us happy. Not just you. Okay, final comment of the evening, and this is from Sachin Kashyap. He says, I think Akshar would be out if Varun goes to the Champions Trophy. I don't think 2 left armers make sense in the 15, as I said. And you is saying by bringing vice captaincy, it is clear no Bumrah. Varun Chakaravarthy, sorry. He says by bringing Varun Chakaravarthy, it is clear no Bumrah and might be Kuldeep and Varun Chakaravarthy in the middle overs as wicket-taking options, less pressure on the death over bowlers with Bumrah. But then, my friend, you're going to have batting till 7. Can you take that risk? I don't think India will do that. They won't have both of them being like that. Okay, a few more questions. Sarat Chandra is saying, Nikhil sir, all eyes too much good in Varun this year. Iyer has been good in T20Is with half trackers, with overspin batters, gonna hit and get out. But in ODIs, if a free hit or batter to score once, I couldn't get that. Sorry. We've got Tarun. He's saying in today's practice session, it was Rishabh Pant keeping and not KL Rahul. But I doubt that both of them can fit into the 11.
Yeah, I don't
No
think
way.
That
it's
just could
happening,
be a practice session. One
No
is
way.
practicing and the other is not. You can't fit the both of in. And I think to start with, KL Rahul starts. Rahul says, do you feel Chappell was unfair during the underarm incident of 1981? Technically, it was not unallowed for the game. Yeah, I think, Rahul, that was... I agree that the rules allowed that to happen. He got his brother Trevor Chappell to do it. But to me, that was completely against the spirit of the game. And I know a lot of people say, what is the spirit of the game? You know, it's an invisible thing that nobody's seen it. And I agree with all of that. Good point. But no, that's not how you play the sport. No. Not for me. Okay. Siddharth says, watching football only past 10 years, you guys also agree Premier League is far more draining than any other league. Thus, transfer and wages justify. Look at what great City team reduced to in 6 years, period.
Nikhil will disagree, I think.
Yeah, but it's a big debate.
It's a bigger debate, yeah.
Yeah. Joyson Fernandez says India will win the one-day series one-sided.
Yeah.
2-1. That's all.
I think India can win 3-0 also.
No, one
This
sided
England
has
team,
to be then
they,
3-0.
they cannot play spin. That's for sure.
It could be 3-0.
Daniel M says if there's Shamin an ICC event and India never wins the trophy.
I was reading the stat that whenever Shami has been a part of any of India's ICC events, India have not won it. He wasn't a part of the 2024 T20 World Cup, and
Sad.
I did read that.
No, he's a good bowler. He has to
Yeah.
be there. Chalo, on that note, you guys take care. Have a good midweek. We'll see you again tomorrow where we'll make our 11. Preview the first ODI.
Yeah.
Big series coming up for Virat and Rohit. We'll talk about that. So look forward to your company then
Rishi will be back tomorrow
with his stories. So from Siddharth, Harshit and I, you guys take care. Bye.
Good night, Nandri, Shubhratri, Shabakher, eat your vegetables and
Don't trouble your mother.